Honorable Vice President, Honorable former Vice Presidents present here today, Honorable Solomon Ekuma Berawa, Dr. Joe Dembi, my Lord the Chief Justice, members of Parliament, ministers and deputy ministers, members of the diplomatic and consular corps, Your Worship, the Mayor of Freetown Municipality, mayors of other cities, and chairmen of district councils, our development partners, representatives of civil society organizations, revered paramount chiefs, pupils and students, members of the Fourth Estate, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. During the election campaign, when I promised quality, free education, my political opponents said it was never possible and described it as a simple political gimmick. My political opponents also said the promise was a political deception that will fade away. But today, I have proved them wrong. In less than 6 months since I assumed office as President of the Republic, we are gathered here today to say that education, free education, is possible. What the opponents describe as a simple political gimmick and a deception is today a political reality. And the promise the cynics thought will disappear after election, today we are here to formally honor that promise. This is a new beginning for education in Sierra Leone. Education is an investment for personal and national development. It is a strong pillar for the nation's industries and also the foundation of moral regeneration and revival of the people. Without quality education, a nation cannot get the much needed manpower for socio-economic advancement and development. This is why it is argued that the quality of a nation's education determines the level of national development. Ladies and gentlemen, my government inherited an educational system that did not only fail to provide increased access, but also in rapid decline. Whether it was a saying of 2 or more pupils sharing a single examination paper during public examination, or children and parents carrying chairs and desks to examination centers. The poor standards in education became a stain on our collective conscience, especially for a country that was regarded as the anthems of West Africa. My government is determined to have a break from the immediate past. This is why, as president or presidential candidate, I prioritized education in the SLPP manifesto and continued as president during my address on the occasion of the state opening of the first session of the 5th Parliament this year. In both documents, education is espoused as a powerful instrument of national development and progress. As president, in order to demonstrate my commitment to education, and in keeping with my promise, my government has increased the budgetary allocation to education to 21% of the national budget. And several other strides have been taken already in this short time to commence the implementation of free quality school education program. However, we cannot do this alone as a government, and that is why we are calling on our development partners and friends to come on board and support this program. My government has established a technical committee to provide a roadmap and technical guidance to the Interministerial and Partnership Group on the Free Quality School Education Program. The committee has submitted a report to the IMPG with recommendations on the components of Free Quality School Education Program and estimated budget and strategies to ensure efficient and effective implementation of the program. The first phase of the implementation of the Free Quality School Education Program has already commenced with additional classes this August 2018 for newly promoted senior secondary school students in all government and government-assisted schools. Ladies and gentlemen, I am delighted to inform you all that the inherited 6344 system of education has been reverted to the 6334 system starting 2018-2019 school year, which commences on September 17, 2018. This means that from September 2018, there will be no more SS4. There will be no more SS4. I promised the people that there will be no more SS4, and today I have honored that promise. Mr. Chairman, to help oversee the implementation of the Free Quality School Education Program, various structures have been put in place. These include ward education committees, which are to be established in the 154 political wards in the country. These wards are different in makeup and responsibility from the ward committees under the local councils. They are charged with, amongst other things, the responsibility for monitoring the education sector in their respective geographical areas. Also, my government has interfaced with our commercial banks to address issues of invalid or inaccurate school bank account details for early payment of school subsidies before the reopening of school in September this year. Additionally, lesson plans for basic education and senior secondary education has been developed. So also are structures to recruit and retain support staff to help in ensuring quality service delivery in all schools. The support staff will assist in effective lesson planning and delivery to support the progress of our children in the classroom. Children at their earliest ages should learn and realize the importance of education in their lives. It is imperative on us to show them that education is the ticket to fulfilling their dreams, and having a productive life. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, given the breadth of issues to be addressed, including financial and capacity constraints, the implementation of the Free Quality School Education Program will be phased out over a period of 5 years to allow us to achieve our goal. All government and government-assisted schools will benefit from Free Quality School Education programs starting 17th September 2018. In a related vein, all unapproved schools that meet the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education minimum standards are in the process of being approved. All public schools that are approved and request government's financial support, we become government-assisted schools. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the first phase of the free quality school education program will consist of the following. School fee subsidy for all government and government-assisted pre-primary, primary, junior secondary, and senior secondary schools. Accelerated primary school program for overage children in non-formal education learning centers. NPSC, Becker, WAS, and NGQ examination fees for students attending government and government-assisted schools. Textbooks in the 4 core subjects of English language, mathematics, integrated science, and social studies or civic education. Essential teaching and learning materials for schools and pupils at all levels of schooling. The package will include exercise books, pens, pencil, chalk, registers, and sport equipment, making the Teaching Service Commission more fully functional, bringing additional teachers onto the payroll. Salary increase for teachers on grade 1 to 6 on the Government of Sierra Leone salary scale. Commencement of school feeding for government and government-assisted schools in areas to be announced shortly by the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. Supply of some furniture for government and government-assisted schools identified as having the greatest need. This is to be a precursor to more significant supplies in the coming years, with a maintenance regime to be prescribed by the Minister of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. And finally, the rehabilitation and reconstruction of government and government-assisted schools. Therefore, with the first phase of the free quality school education program, I am delighted to announce that commencing 17 September 2018, there will be no fees, no admission fees in government and government-assisted schools for pre-primary, primary, junior, and secondary school education. Timely fee subsidy payments to government and government-assisted schools. Free accelerated primary school learning program in the Ministry of Education non-formal learning centers. Free exercise books, pens, etc. for students attending government and government-assisted schools. Free chalk, registers, sporting equipment, etc. for government and government-assisted schools. Free 4 core subject textbooks for pupils attending government and government-assisted schools with support from DFID. NPSC, Becker, WAS, NGQ, free for students attending government and government-assisted schools. More schools in deprived and underserved areas benefiting from school feeding through the support of CRS, WFP, JAM, and Government of Sierra Leone. More trained and qualified teachers placed on the government payroll. Much needed furniture supplied to schools badly in need of in all districts. Preliminary work on the infrastructure of selected schools in all districts. Whilst my government will provide all of the above during the first phase of the implementation of the free quality school education program, it is worth noting that 17 September 2018 is just the date for the start of the first phase, not the date on which everything will be completed. It is also important to know that Whilst government will be covering all core costs as described earlier, parents and guardians will also be required to show commitment to the education of the children by covering the following ancillary costs during the implementation of the first phase of free quality school education program. These ancillary costs will include footwear, transportation to and from school, where applicable, extra or additional pencils, pens, erasers, exercise books, etc., above the allocation per child by the government. Optional subject textbooks, and finally, school uniform. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, let me also be very clear. Parents, guardians, teachers, school heads, and proprietors should note that inefficient and effective teaching and learning will have no place in our educational system. While the government is prepared to cover the cost of one repeat per level of schooling, the cost of more than one repetition will have to be covered by the parent or the guardian. This means that it is the responsibility of teachers to teach properly and the duty of parents and guardians to ensure that the child goes to school, stays in school for the full day, and has time at home to rest, do homework, and study. Subjecting the child to excessive domestic chores, sending him or her to the street for trading instead of studying will not be accepted anymore. Also, I wish to remind parents and guardians that the current Education Act of 2004 makes it compulsory for parents, including guardians, to send their children to school to receive primary and junior secondary education. The Education Act further provides that parents, including guardians, who neglect to send their children to school for primary and secondary education commits an offense and shall be liable on conviction to a fine you seem to like that. Let me go over that again. The Education Act further provides that parents, including guardians, who neglect to send his or her child for primary and secondary school education commits an offense and shall be liable on conviction to a fine or imprisonment or both. Because this provision in the law has not been enforced, many children of primary and junior secondary age are out of school. This cannot continue to happen now that education in government and government-assisted schools are free. Therefore, once the Ministry of Basic and Senior Education is satisfied that provision in terms of availability of schools nationwide is adequate, not only in terms of numbers, but also in terms of easy accessibility by pupils, and that all functioning schools have been approved to operate either as private, government, or government-assisted, the Education Act of 2004 will be strictly enforced. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, some proprietors of government-assisted schools have been having a field day. While it is true that many of the mission schools that are now benefiting from government assistance brought formal education to many parts of the country and have rendered noteworthy service to the nation, almost all have handed over their obligations and responsibilities to government. Some of these proprietors of government-assisted schools do nothing and rely on government for everything, including construction of buildings, classrooms, toilets, supply of furniture, teaching and learning materials, provision of teachers, and even payment of their salaries. This cannot continue to happen. Proprietors will now be required to declare their contribution to the running costs of their schools or risk full takeover by the government. In this regard, the Ministry of Basic and Senior Education, Senior Secondary Education, will hold discussions with the proprietors of schools in the coming year to determine the percentage of the running costs of schools that should be covered by the proprietors. Also, whilst government acknowledges the good intention of many partners, both local and international, communities and prospective politicians to start school projects, sadly, these groups and individuals end up causing serious challenges for government. This is because they start these schools without any reference to the ministry, knowing full well that they are going to pass the burden onto government and knowing that they haven't followed the ministry's standards or met its requirements for that area. Therefore, let me state here that no school is to be established or started without prior clearance from the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education. Please take this word of advice to the many individuals and organizations establishing schools simply to make profit from the free quality education program. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm also pleased to inform you all that in order to ensure schools do not resort to practices that will negate the provision made under the free quality education program, my government has established a hotline at the Ministry of Basic and Senior Secondary Education for reporting all acts of impropriety by school officials. All reports will be investigated and where necessary appropriate actions will be taken. The number of the hotline is 4060 and it is free. The number of the hotline is 4060 and it is free, like the free education. My government has decided to go down this path of free quality education because it is no hidden secret that in modern times, educating the citizens of a country will not only serve as a catalyst for growth and development, but also a firm foundation that supports every fabric of society. Education is a fundamental right of every Sierra Leonean and can bring about desired change and development in both human mind and the nation. I cannot end without acknowledging the commitment made by our development partners with respect to this bold venture. I hope to see their beautiful words transformed into beautiful actions. I look forward in particular to seeing the commitment of our partners and donor countries already providing support to education in Sierra Leone, as well as those providing support to potential support in the future. I also look forward to seeing what the business enterprises operating in Sierra Leone can do to support free quality school education program. At this point, I will also be remiss in my duty if I fail to thank all those who in diverse ways have contributed towards the preparation and actualization of the first phase of the free quality school education program, especially my Minister of Education and the staff of the ministry. This is not only a legacy we are leaving for our children, but also it is a precious inheritance for future generations. Mr. Chairman, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and I have the pleasure to officially launch the much talked about free quality school education program, which I believe had the potential to transform our beloved country and provide the ladder of opportunity for every child to reach their potentials. Thank you, and may God bless the people and Republic of Sierra Leone.